Okay, welcome to another live morning edition of POV Live. And we got something very, very interesting because it seems like the client, now we know this marriage falling apart at the seams. We've seen it for a very long time. And just the other day, we saw Megan supposedly very chummy with some athlete over there in Montecito. And this is possibly around the same time that Harry was gone. So these two things might have happened at the same time. Harry was in Africa with his madam, probably getting some new people of the night, individuals of the night. And Megan was getting chummy with some athlete at some bar or something. Yeah, this is what's happening. But first, let's go ahead and recap because this is what Harry claimed he was doing. Okay, he said, well, at least the Charlotte Griffiths woman, who she's the new Omid Scobie, Ken Doll, it's all smooth down there. She said that Harry went off grid and was uncontactable during the secret 3-day visit to Botswana. This was right after Angola. Okay. And it's interesting that this is all happening at the same time. And this was put out a couple of days ago. The one that we're going to look at after this is the one that was just put out yesterday or last night or something. See, he went off grid for 3 days where he escaped Megan after completing his work with landmine that essentially did nothing. He is believed to have traveled to the neighboring country of Botswana. See, this is what he's believed to have done. This is what Charlotte Griffith said, right? Because this is what he told her to say. See? So the idea was, oh, I'm going to go chill with my madam, maybe even get some new ones, probably some new girls on the roster, and we're going to see what happens. I mean, we know him. It's very obvious, right? Harry likes the women of the night. That's known. Everybody knows that. Harry loves them. And why? Because when it comes to people like that, you just pay them and that's it. And they leave. You know, Harry's got a horrible personality. He's probably a real pain in the ass to be around. We've talked about his bitching and moaning and complaining, right? I bet you anything he complains and whines around Megan. And they're both sitting there and he's just like, oh, my family, like, oh, I can't believe what they're doing. They don't want to give in to what I'm saying. And then she's just sitting there looking at him. Stop complaining. You sound like a complainer. I was going to say so many words right there. You know, that's what. And then she doesn't feel any respect for him because he's sitting there crying. Oh, things are so hard. My old life and this and this. And then she sees that and she loses respect for him. And that's why we've seen it. We've literally seen it where, remember in New York City, when they got out of the Land Rover and it literally looked like Harry was crying. That's the truth of it all. Harry looked like he was crying. We can bring it up right now. Did I say meow? Oh, yeah, I said meow. Look, right here. They had just gotten out of the Range Rover. Oh, let me get this out of the way. They had just gotten out of the Range Rover. See? And look at his face. Look at him. You can see it. He's got like little tears. He's crying. No doubt in my mind right here. See? It looks like he's crying. It looks like he's about to cry. Hold on. Let me get this back. How do I do it? Okay. Yeah, there I moved it. You know, it literally looks like the man is crying. And why? Because she probably told him off in the car. He's crying. She probably told him off in the car. And she said, don't you even step in front of me. Don't you dare. Don't you. And she probably like, you know what? I bet you she does. She probably like hits him in places that you can't see. So like on the chest or something or on the shoulder, right? She'll hit him and be violent in places that nobody will know because if she hits him in the face, you can kind of see, right? There's a little shading here, but we also have seen photo evidence where it looks like Harry has a black eye. And I've said it many, many times. She beats him. We know. Come on. Watch. Okay, let's ask the chat. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Has Meghan ever hit Harry? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Now I'm going to go obviously with a number 1, in my opinion. I think it's no doubt. I think this woman's a little firecracker. And when she doesn't get her way, watch out. When Meghan Markle doesn't get her way, you better watch out. You better not be in the room when that happens. You better not be around. Look at that. Everybody's saying everybody. You know, I think she has. Man. You know, and why be? And that's the whole point of this whole image of her, right? Oh, nice. She's nice and she only cares, and she's a girl's girl and she only cares. She just cares about people so much. She cares. She does like favors, and she'll put bath salts in the room. Right? Like, who cares? Who cares if she'll put bath salts in your room? She's probably doing it on purpose. It's called love bombing. That's what that's called, when you do shit for people, and then more than likely she expects reciprocation. Right? Oh, well, you remember that one time that you stayed at my house and I did like the bath bomb and I did like the flowers for you? Well, this is what I need. I need you to do something for me. So he wants to get away from that. He's crying. He wanted to escape. So what did he do? He went off grid. See, Ruth even believes so too. Trish. He went off grid, and here we go. You see, we're going to get into the madam thing in a little bit. After completing his work that didn't even matter, he's believed to have traveled to the neighboring country. There he is thought to have met with his mother figure. He is thought. See, there's no proof of this. This is exactly why I ran this story. That sentence right there. There's no proof of this. There's no photos. There's nothing. This is a narrative that was put out by Charlotte Griffiths. We know she is the new Omid Scobie. Kendall, it's all smooth down there. Right? She's the new one, the new mouthpiece. He is thought to have met with a mother figure in his life. No. It wasn't a mother figure. It was a madam. I mean, we do know that Marcus Anderson is the pimp. Now that's another story. But no, not a mother figure. Wrong M. It was not mom, but madam. Mother figure in his life who lives in the Southern African country, Tanya T.J. Jenkins, whom he calls mom. And again, there is no proof of this. There's no photos. There's no documentation. This is just, as Charlotte Griffith said, it's thought he was there. No, we know he was. We know where Harry was. She and her husband, Mike Holding, played a pivotal role in the client's life for years. They were so important to him. Flew his future wife. Toxic. Right, yeah, play on words. Exactly. It's unusual for the client to spend so long away. Yeah, because he was trying to get away from Meghan. That's why. Because let's go find it. Where's it at? This is what he was trying to get away from. You know, you can see why. Here it is right here. I mean, look at the face, man. She's pissed. Look at her. You know, imagine. She's going to see him when he gets home, and oh, man, that's the face he's got waiting for him. What were you doing over there? Why didn't you call me? Well, why was your phone off? Why? And this is an old photo. This isn't the new photo that proves that they were there. This is a very, very obviously, because he has so much hair. All right. And this is what he's got waiting for him. Why didn't you call me? Why was your phone off? I couldn't get a hold of you. I was telling Meredith to call you, Meredith Maines. I was telling Meredith to call you. She called your assistant and nobody was finding you. Where were you? And she's just wailing on him, you know? Totally see it. You could totally see it. She beats him. We know, right? You could totally see it. How dare he smile? Well, that was a long time ago when he had something to smile about. He doesn't smile anymore because she sucked the life out of him. Just the same way she sucks the life out of everyone. Trips abroad, she and Meghan, yada, 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 2 or 3 days. And this is supposed to be them. This was in what year? Thought to have been mother figure. Oh, well, that just looks like a long time ago. You're probably talking about 2015. You know, that's a lot of hair on the top of his head. The source said this time he took some more time and space. Oh, he did. Oh, he took some more time and space. He wanted to get away from there. He took some more time and space. He don't want to be around Megan. He wants to get with his madam, and made the trip into the long visit to reconnect with old friends. Yes, old friends. Keep that phrase in mind, all right? With what we're about to see right after this, keep that phrase in mind. Old friends, huh, Harry? And get some headspace. Yeah, probably just that. Away from his phone and emails. He went off comms for 2 days. It was a good moment for Harry to take some time away from everything, his fake black wife, enjoying total peace of mind and being somewhere so remote that he couldn't even get emails, texts, or calls. Ugh. Now, if you're with your madam checking out the new merchandise, Harry, in a place that's so remote, you might want to watch out. We know that Africa, man, we know that gets a little gross over there, right? We know that. So here it is, right here. While overseas, the client, the ginger-haired one, hung out with the woman who used to introduce him to female companions, his madam, that he would hang out with on his visits. So then you put them together. It's very easy to see. You just put them together. Put the two things together. See? He went off grid, uncontactable, went with his mom or whoever the hell it was. No, he didn't. He was over there trying to find some new merchandise. That's what he was doing. That's exactly what he was doing. And, you can't blame him, and you really think about it. How good could it be nowadays anyway? I bet you Megan, she's the type of person where she probably doesn't put out, because they're married already. She probably put out before the marriage, before she got the ring. Wouldn't doubt it for a second, right? She probably put out before she got the ring. No doubt in my mind. And then when she got that ring, that was the one she wanted. She wanted the ring. She wanted it, right? And then after she got the ring, no, she ain't putting out anymore. No way. So what does Harry have to go do? He's got to go. I mean, a man's got needs. Poor guy. You marry this woman that essentially cuts your balls off as a man. You're a shell of who you were. A shell, literally. Harry is a shell of who he was. And this woman won't even satisfy him anymore because she's already got what she wanted. She wanted the title. She wanted the clout that comes with that. Now, the only issue with that is we actually see what she's done with it. She got what she wanted. She wanted a title, and now she's an influencer with a title, which is weird, right? And what has transpired from her little plan? That's an interesting concept in and of itself, because if you look at what she's done, yeah, exactly. She sucks. She sucks. And that's what we talk about with their talent. With Harry and Meghan, they just have no talent. There's no talent there. There's no substance. Like, this is the name recognition. Everybody knows the name. Prince Harry, Meghan. Nah. Everybody knows the name. The name recognition is like this, but the actual talent, or not even that much, probably even less, like that much between my fingers. That's how much talent that there is, which is really sad, because that's why it looks to me like a scam even more, what they did with Netflix. When it comes to all that money, you could have used all that money to pay people, producers, directors, actors, right? But that's why you can tell they scammed them. They wanted to keep all the money for themselves and then just make these trash documentaries, where documentaries are the cheapest thing you can make. And then you put all of the money right in your pocket. That's very obvious that that's what happened. Because if they wanted to do something that was really good, some real content, if they wanted to do that, they could have done television shows. They could have done a series. They could have done a movie, but they didn't want to because those things cost money. And they need all the money for themselves to fund their lavish lifestyle. And now that's why we see that's now been cut off. They're claiming, supposedly, Meghan is claiming in her PR that there's negotiations going on. Nobody believes that. Okay. I don't believe that for the simple fact that this woman, her actual output, right, was horrible. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It would be much different if you and I, if we were here talking shit, right? And then she had Live to Lead was an 8.0 and Heart of Invictus was a 9.0 on IMDb, right? And With Love Meghan was a 7 or an 8, and all of her content was really high. That's different, but that's not what's happening. See, because even the world knows that she's got no talent for all of the stuff that these people have put out. The entire world knows it now, and that's why everything is falling apart. But the real question is, like we've seen with this Instagram, the story that we did this morning, the real question is, will this little hiatus, however long it's going to be, however long it's going to be, I mean, I don't know how long Meghan's going to try and push this. Will this little hiatus from Instagram, and obviously not posting on As Ever because As Ever's dead because Netflix has pulled the plug, right? Will this little hiatus help her? I think the problem that you have is the stuff that you didn't even do it well. So let's just say this, right? Let's give her a bone for this whole, she's going to go away and she's going to come back and it's a little hiatus, right? Let's give her a bone. Okay. So then what are you going to come back with that's a huge plan? What's the next thing? Now, and then after that, right, after an announcement, Meghan's planning another documentary. We'll say documentary. Meghan's planning another documentary for Netflix. Okay. Is it going to be done well? Are you going to do a good job? Is it actually going to be entertaining? And is it going to be something that people want to watch? And in my opinion, this is not a Megxit opinion. This is not like we're making fun of her. I'm talking about from an entertainment standpoint. From the past content that she has put out, I just can't say that that's a yes. See, that's your problem, Meg. You get it? That's your problem. Not going away from Instagram and going away from the press, and not wanting to do exclusives anymore in People Magazine. By the way, People Magazine, how do you think they feel? They got used by Meghan for 2 years and now she's totally dropped them. People Magazine, she doesn't need them anymore, and now she's running from all of the stuff she used to do. Why? Why would you do that? All of a sudden, you're just going to go 180 and turn around, and now you're going to try and what? What I'm thinking she's going to try and do is she's easily going to stay away from Netflix and only post on like important days. That's what it is. Because her posting constantly, and especially with the children, her posting constantly has hurt her because obviously it's more content for the haters. It's more content for people to talk about and pick apart. Now, people wouldn't be able to pick it apart if it was any good, but okay, fine. And you want to know what, Meghan? Before we get into her Instagram mistakes, this is the other part. This was the first one, right? Let's recap. This is why we're here. Prince Harry meets with his old madam in Africa. He hung out with the woman who was used to introduce him to female companions. Now, this was the claim. Harry went off grid, and all you got to do is put them together, right? You get me? That's all you got to do. And this was July 29th, and then this one was the 27th. The illiterate one, Meghan, was super chummy and close to a guy the other night at dinner who looked to be a foot taller than the client and just buffed out. Not a security guy, though. So she was hitting on an athlete. That's what it is. She was hitting on an athlete. These two things are happening at the same time because these people, they're probably in a loveless marriage. I've said that many times before. They're probably in a loveless marriage. They're in a house stuck with each other. They wake up. They're asleep, right? And then Harry, he wakes up and he opens his eyes and he looks over. And same thing with her. Meghan's asleep. Probably Vava all hanging out, just drooling, because you know how Megan, because she went to sleep all drunk, so the drool is just coming out. And then she wakes up from a hangover and she has like a headache. And she looks over and she sees Harry. And she goes, I can't even stand this. That's how it is. That's how these people really are. They're in the same house. They hate each other. The marriage is a fraud, right? It's all a play. And then you see these kind of things happen. And then it's no coincidence, right? No coincidence at all that these two things transpire one right after the other. July 27th, Megan is seen in a blind item getting chummy, basically hitting on some guy who's a foot taller than the client and buffed out. July 27th. 2 days later, the client is said to be going to Africa, overseas. See? And he hung out with the woman who used to introduce him to female companions. See, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. You know? And it's something like this that it just shows you what's going on behind closed doors. It really does. Oh, get out of here, stupid ads. Oh, hate the ads. So, yeah, we're going to do the Instagram, but we'll do that in a bit. You know, that's what it is. It's tit for tat, like teenagers. Yeah, it is, because these people they're immature. They're immature. This is real. It really happens. This is real. You know, remember the thing. Let's not forget. Watch. Real easy. We could bring it up quick, fast, and in a hurry. Watch. Check this out. What was it? Cheating? No. Yeah. There it is. It was cheating. Remember this one? This one right here. Check this out. Remember this one right here? When Megan put out this stupid photo of her and this guy, and then it was so obvious she didn't take her hair out of the shirt. You know, so she had her shirt off. This is what happened. See, like the long, watch. See, like the long hair down here, the long hair, it was stuck in the shirt. See, look, it was stuck in the shirt because they both got out of bed. And then she forgot to take her hair out. That's what happened, because they both were in bed, right? Everybody remembers this, and it was so obvious. It was so obvious that Megan just got railed, just absolutely railed by this guy, who actually looks kind of, he looks a little. And then Harry, that's right, Ukraine. Watch. Let's see, Ukraine. Where's the photo with the woman in Ukraine? Here it is. Oh, I put them together. Even better. Even better. There it is. One right next to the other. This, Igo is saying, this is tit for tat. Tit for tat, like teenagers. Megan saw him take this picture, right? This happened before this. This is real. This happened right before this. So Megan saw him doing that. So what does she do? She's got to be a teenager. She's 17. He's 13. These people are children in their heads. And she's got to put out a photo like this. This is the kind of stuff that's real. This is really happening. And even then, if you want to say, oh, well, this is hard to believe. Okay, fine. Then there's no such thing as coincidences. Oh, okay. So it's just a coincidence. Damn, now we got to pull them all up again, but I'll do it. It's just a coincidence that here and then here. It's just a coincidence, right? This was talked about, Megan with some buff dude that was tall, and then a couple of days later, this, which would mean Megan knew about this, because why? Watch, let me ask you, and this is very simple. I've been in toxic relationships, okay? This is why I know what this is. This is very simple. Megan didn't get a hold of Harry. She couldn't get a hold of him. She was trying to call him. She was trying to do whatever. So she got pissed off. And what did she do? She went out to dinner and she flirted with some guy. That is textbook. That's textbook right there. Textbook. And then same thing here. Same thing. This happened. Megan saw it. Megan saw it in the press. She saw everyone in Megxit talking about it, right? What does she do? A few days later, this comes out. It's tit for tat. It really is. This is how these people are. And not only that, we can remember, actually, there's another one. Prince Harry confirms Super Bowl. There was this time when Harry was in Las Vegas. Don't forget this. This was so immature on her part. Do you remember when Harry was in Vegas and he tells the press, he told the press from a source, oh, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Remember this? This is from last year. Remember? And the press, it was a big thing. Oh, Harry and Meghan are going to go to the Super Bowl. They're going to be in a box. Remember that? And then what does Meghan do? She runs to People magazine and she shut it down. See, this is the kind of immature stuff. This is real. This is real life that these people are living. It is. And it's just so lame, man. It is. It's just, teenager, like what Igo said, teenager. That's what it is. I mean, you can't even draw it up any easier than that because it's just so childish. It's so toxic. It's something to where we know these people are online and they're watching what everything is said. He watches what is said about her. She watches what is said about him. They have literally leaked at different times. All this stuff has happened. Why would anyone want a relationship with her? Maybe she's a one-night stand. Well, let's not forget what Harry said. Harry said literally about his wife. He said, she'll let you do anything. So, that's just the way it goes. I feel like, I was going to say, I feel like the marriage has fallen apart, but it's fallen apart and there's not going to be anything, whatever, in public. We could talk about the divorce all day. We got about 3 minutes left. We could talk about the divorce all day. Will the divorce happen? When will it happen? Who's going to start it? We could talk about that all day. But the truth of the matter is that when it comes to public, we've seen that these people have lied to the press. They've told stories that are trying to distract for something else because something else is going on, right? And you do enough to comment. They've told stories and they've leaked each other. I think you're really looking at it where this whole divorce, and that's why the divorce narrative isn't even it's not even a thing anymore, because everyone has pretty much figured out that behind closed doors, right? Behind closed doors, it's over, right? We've seen it the way she treats him. He's still in love with her. She doesn't care. That Meghan Markle has literally said on podcasts, I love the way he treats me. I love the way he supports me. If you were to change change the person that is saying those words, you would put that into a sugar baby. Do you know what a sugar baby is? That's essentially what that sounds like, where a sugar baby is talking about her sugar daddy and she says, oh, I love the way he treats me. I love the way my sugar daddy supports me. That's what that sounds like. So when she said that, I was like, holy damn, damn. Well, the thing is that if he was, I do think that there is some sort of whipped. Now, if we were to put 100%, right? Is he whipped or is it blackmail? See, I think there's a 50-50 there. I do think this woman has some shit on Harry. I do. I think there's something there that she could have, no doubt in my mind, some kind of blackmail. Because if he's whipped, right, it's a 50-50. If he's whipped, then everything would make sense because he's just her sugar daddy. Like I said, a few minutes ago, she's a sugar baby. He's a sugar daddy. So he's whipped. But if she has blackmail on him over here, that's a different story. That's a very different story. And there's been talk of that, of having Harry in compromising positions, that kind of stuff. There really is. It's all, especially when you see things like I just pointed to, where it's all coincidental. Oh, this happened and then this happened. You know, she was seen talking to some guy after Harry was not contactable, and you could totally see someone like Megan doing it. She can't get him on the phone. She's pissed off, so she goes out to flirt with some guy. You could absolutely see it. And why was Harry uncontactable? Because he was in Africa with his madam. Yeah, that's why. Getting a bit of blackmail. She's that sort of person. Absolutely. Absolutely, Ginger. I totally agree. So we're going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you so much for being here on this morning edition of POV Live. We will catch you next time.